Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to
Vaughn Radio.
That's right, folks. It's Vaughn Radio, and this is the show with no name, and it's time for Liftoff. 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come on, baby.
Liftoff.
Let's go.
30 minutes after the hour.
Come on. There it is. Yes. Get ready. Hold on to your hat. Strap on your seatbelt. We got her off the ground. Hold on to your hat. Get ready for the ride of your life. Get ready. The show with no name time. On Vaughn Radio. It's a show with no name. Let's go. That's right, amigos. Welcome aboard. Did you miss me? Did you? I didn't say did you. I said did you, because that's how I say it. Did you miss me? I missed you guys. If you were paying attention, you'll see that I haven't done the show in over 2 weeks, maybe. I can't. I lost track. Well, either way, folks, I was filming lots and lots of videos. If you guys follow me on social media, you'll know why I wasn't here. I wasn't on vacation. I was working hard, working really hard, but having fun. Just reminds me how lucky I am to be able to work with my friends, to work with Rob Grams, Kyle Miller, Ximena, Nacho, and you guys, my students. You're part of our job. You're part of our circle too. So thank you. I personally feel lucky. Oh yeah, I feel extremely lucky because you guys bring the magic. And so do my amigos here on Vaughn Radio. And guess what? I've got some info. I've got the 411. The 411 is la información principal. I've got the 411 here on the book fair. It's official. The book fair, the Madrid Feria del Libro, is literally right around the corner, and we are so excited to celebrate it this year. I know many of you are coming. If not, here's the info. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time of year again. Spring has sprung, and that means it's time for the book fair at the Retiro Park in Madrid. It kicks off on May 26th till June 11th. Join us at Grupo Vaughn's stand 312. I'll be there with Damian Moya presenting our latest book. And my amigos will be there signing their books as well. Don't miss
Julia Linares, or Jules, host of the Let's Get Random show.
Dave Boys, host of The Salad.
Jimena Holiday, host of Test Your English.
Guy Williams, host of Western Civilization.
Natasha Pasqua, host of Back to Basics.
Kyle Miller from The Drive Time Show.
Richard Vaughn.
And many more. Meet your favorite Vaughn presenters, teachers, and authors at Feria del Libro 2023. Stand 312. Check out our website for the complete schedule, grupovaughn.com, and follow us on social media for further updates. Feria del Libro 2023 with Vaughan at the Retiro Park in Madrid. Join us at Stand 312. 312. That's right, folks. Stand 312. It's official. I'm going to give you my dates, and I've got everybody else's dates here. So this is a good time to grab a pen. Grab a pen or your tablet or your phone, wherever you jot things down, and write these dates down. Well, the first important thing is it's Stand 312. Okay, 312, 312. But for the sake of clarity, I'll say 312. And it's a great spot. It's right smack dab in the center of it all. I've got to say, even though it's a lottery, una loteria, even though it's a lottery, we get treated pretty well. I've got to be honest, they always give us a good spot. So I'm excited about that. And I will be there. Now it's official. If you guys follow on social media, the news is out. Everybody knows it. There's a new book coming out, and it's Damian Moya and myself. Again, it's our third book in the Milk series. And a lot of people are saying, but wait, it's not the same. I go, actually, it is. Because if you think about it, this book is the milk doesn't exist in English. So how would you say este libro es la leche in English? This book is the shit. So the third time we finally got the title right in English. So I hope you guys enjoy the book. We've been working on it so hard. The book's got video, audio bites in it. There's a little bit of everything. And if you liked This Book is the Milk and This Book is the Milk 2, which used to be called This Book is the Remilk, you are going to love this book. And I am so honored to be able to hand it to you myself at the Feria del Libro, and will, of course, sign it for you. Damian is going to be there as well with me, all three of the dates that I'm going to be there. So I would love to see you. Now, remember I kept telling you guys, I've got a surprise. Many of you figured out that it was a book. Then I told you it's a book. It's a new book. And then, well, I didn't tell anybody the title yet, and now everybody knows the title. The title is This Book is the Shit, and it's the real way to say este libro es la leche. I always explain this, that with the success of the first book, a lot of my friends on Facebook or in the United States, Americans would say to me, dude, congratulations. Wow, your book, wow, it's on TV. It's huge. It's become a sensation. I said, yeah, it's incredible. And then there would be like an uncomfortable silence for just a second there. And then they would say, but I don't get the title. No pillo ese título. I don't get the title. What do you, and I'm like, well, no, in Spanish, this is the milk means it's the shit. It's the bomb. So la única en que estamos de acuerdo es la bomba. It's the bomb. But we thought that wasn't funny. And you know what? This book is the shit. No matter what happens, it gets people's attention. Either they love it and they're like, oh, it's awesome. Or they're like, what? Or there's always a reaction. And I think the book is going to be, honestly, it's our best book to date. And why not? We have experience. Our first book came out over 10 years ago, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So that's why I've been telling you guys for so long, come to the book fair, being annoying, because I've got a new material for you, and I think you're going to love it. And I'd love to sign it for you. I'd love to stamp it, and I'd love to take a selfie and obviously chat with you for a moment while we're signing it and while you're taking a stroll around the book fair. So let me give you some information. Jot this down. Stand 312. It's Grupo Vaughan. I will be there with Damian Saturday, May 27th, Saturday, June 3rd, and Sunday, June 11th. All of those will be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're doing morning shifts, turnos de mañana. Now, some people are just doing 2 hours. We're doing 3 4-hour shifts. So don't tell me you don't have time. I've given you a couple, Saturday, and Sunday, and we'll be there from 11 to 2. Now, you want a double trouble? You want more bang for your buck? ¿Cómo va la expresión? More bang for your buck es más valor, más chicha. Well, guess what? Guess who's going to be there on Saturday, May 27th? Richard Vaughn. Richard Vaughn is going to be at the book fair, which is awesome. And then you've got Dave Boyes. Again, write this stuff down. Dave Boyes will be there Saturday, June 10th. Dave Boyes from The Salad, also the author of Canciones con Animales en Inglés. If you've got kids, this is the one you want to write down because Dave brings his guitar and his bag of tricks. So it's Canciones con Animales en Inglés. It's Saturday, June 10th, and he'll be there from 10:30 to 12:30. 10:30 to 12:30. My buddy Kyle Miller from Canada, he will be there one date because, well, sometimes too, like me in past years, I'm like, well, I don't really have a new book, so you don't want to go too many times. But of course, myself having a new book, I'm going to be going as much as possible. Kyle will be there one date. So if you want to see Kyle Miller, you've got to go Sunday, June 4th. And that is from 12 noon to 2 p.m., right? From 12 noon to 2 p.m. And that is Kyle Miller. You've got Ximena, who can sign many books because, well, she has created many materials for us here at Vaughn, including our Disney collection. And she'll be signing that along with Expresiones en Inglés, whatever you want her to sign. She'll be there Saturday, June 3rd at 5 p.m. and Sunday, June 11th, also at 5 p.m. So again, write these down. You'll find them on our website, on social media. I don't know if there's a link yet, so I'm kind of giving you the information as soon as I've got it. I mean, this information is right out of our WhatsApp group. Te lo digo. I pulled it right out of the Vaughn Radio WhatsApp group. I'm like, everybody, share your dates. Well, Rob said it. Rob said it in an email, and then I put that email. I copied and pasted it, organized it a little bit. So this is fresh off the press, hot off the press. Esto es fresco. Tosh Pascua will be there June 11th from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Guy Williams, Sunday, June 4th, and also Sunday, June 11th. Both of those are from 7 to 9 p.m. And last, but definitely not least, and I'm sure there are people who haven't confirmed their dates yet, we've got Jules Linares. She'll be there as well. So that'll be June 28th at 7 p.m. And it's going to be magical, amigos. I hope you join us at the Feria del Libro. It's going to be great. And I know many of you know how many people, if everybody who said that they're coming shows up, it's going to be packed. But that's the idea. Let's have some fun. Let's sign some books. And who knows, I might even challenge you guys. Damian and I are thinking, well, while we're there, why don't we give some challenges, some English classes to boot? Además, and speaking of challenges, let's kick off with our pop quiz. Come on, quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Pop quiz, 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 quiz. What? Hands up. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. All right, amigos, it's our pop quiz. And when did I say Tosh Pascua was going to be at the book fair? Were you paying attention? Did you get it down? She's going to be there June 11th from 12 noon to 2 p.m. And the reason I say Tosh Pascua is because today's pop quiz comes from my amiga Tosh Pascua, the host of Back to Basics and one of the greatest teachers at Vaughn. And you can listen to her every day. You're so lucky. Trust me. You've got Tosh Pascua for an hour every day on Back to Basics. And you can go meet her at the book fair. I'm sure she would love to chat with you as I said, take a selfie. And even, another thing we do aside from challenging you and selfies and, chatting a little bit is we like to encourage you as well. At least personally, I like to offer you, my gratitude for supporting and following, and also offer words of encouragement, like keep it up, these kind of things that a teacher often does. So if you want to see Tosh in person, in the flesh, you can go June 11th from 12 noon to 2 p.m. and it's going to be a blast. Tosh has got tons of fun planned, I'm sure. Let's see what she's got for us in her challenge on her show. She calls it the Back to Basics Challenge. It's a good name for the challenge. It's the name of her show. It's on Vaughn Radio every day at 3 p.m. If you can't tune in at 3 p.m., no sweat. You can listen via podcast. But here's the translation that she gave us. Me alegro que ella tenga los pies en la tierra. Me alegro que ella tenga los pies en la tierra. That is your challenge today, your pop quiz. Again, this is from Tosh Pascua's show and from her social media, so make sure you follow her as well. And remember, you can catch her at the book fair, which is going to be a lot of fun. Everybody's looking forward to it. I know, because in the group, everybody is just like, okay, see you there. Okay, guys, I'll let you. Really, really exciting time. And I hope you guys are as excited as we are. And you know what? Right now, I'm missing something. Maybe it could be fiber, la fibra. I don't know. Maybe it could be, I don't know, vitamin, some kind of vitamin that I'm lacking, careciendo. Or maybe it's just a beat. That's what it is. All right, now we're talking. Let's go on over to our virtual chat room and check out the comments before we check out the answer to our pop quiz from Tosh Pascua. Let's see who's in the house. As I said, guys, I know you missed me. I missed you too. It's mutual. But Rob, as my boss, Rob is a great friend, but he's also my boss. The last thing we want to do, myself and him, is cancel the show. But needs must. Needs must. A veces hay otras obligaciones, prioridades, and we had to take care of it. But we did it as fast as humanly possible. Trust me. So we're back. Okay, as far as I know, okay, Monday there's no live show because it's San Isidro. So we won't have a live show because it's a holiday in Madrid, but we're back. I just had to work on a project, and it's great to be back. I missed you guys, and if you missed me, well, I know the feeling. All right, let's see who's on board. Born to Iron Man. What's up, Born? He says, hey, morning, folks. A pleasure to know about you again. Well, guys, remember, even though I wasn't doing the show, on social media, I was posting every day, I think, right? So you've got videos. You'll always hear from me, even if I'm not here live. Also, if you're in my community, I continue to post, even in the summer when I'm not doing the show, sometimes on holiday. So a good way to stay connected is to follow on social media. Follow Tosh, follow Vaughn, follow Kyle, follow Dave, follow me. What's up, Born? We missed you. I missed you. Chris says, hi, Alberto and mates. Long time no see. Of course we missed you. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Vero says, good morning, beautiful people. Long time no see, dudes. I hope everyone is full of beans on this terrific day. No doubt about it, Vero. And once I read your name there, it brought a smile to my face. There's another one that brings a smile to my face every time. Elena. Elena says, good morning, everyone. Good to be able to be in touch with you after too long. I think you want to say so long, after so long. Well, again, guys, social media. I mean, I think I posted a video every day, but I guess you mean to interact. But remember, you can interact with those posts too. In fact, it's pretty good for the algorithm of the night. So yeah, guys, again, if you love these shows, you love the podcast, you love the posts, let us know. It's not enough to just say, I love your posts. Give them a like. And then who knows? It might end up in one of your friends' timelines. And you've just spread the show with no name or Vaughn Radio with a simple like. Look at that. Effortless, como decimos. Sin esfuerzo. Let's see. Kubla says, Hulo, compelling gang. Hulo to you too. Laura says, good morning, gorgeous show with no namers. Long time no see. Only popping in to say hello. I don't know why you say goodbye. I say hello. Oh. She says, I won't be able to follow the show today. Have a great long weekend, everyone. Have a great long weekend, madrileños. And not even, my wife doesn't work in Madrid. Like she does, but she doesn't. So my wife doesn't have a day off. So even some people who technically live in Madrid don't have the day off. Oh, man. All right. So great to read your name, Laura, and all of you. Chris says, what a pity, Laura. Have a great weekend. There's Rosaline. What's up, Rosaline? Great reading your name. And Rosaline says, good morning, AA and classmates. How long not see? Long time no see. Ahí lo tienes. Hacemos un ajuste. Long time no see. I'm missing you so. Again, it's mutual. Elena, what's up, Elena? She says, congrats on your book. I can't wait to sink my teeth into it. That's a totally native there. Hincarle el diente. Thank you, Elena. Hopefully you can make it to the book fair. That would be awesome. Born to Iron Man has put my book fair dates here in the comments. So if you guys want to copy and paste, again, it's better to practice writing them down, right? Because then you're practicing writing down dates. But Born to Iron Man has done it for you. He was dying. He's like, I haven't had a spelling bee in weeks. I'm going to take down anything people give me. I'm like, I had, last night, I had bacon, eggs, and you're like, bacon, eggs? Born to Iron Man, you're having withdrawal symptoms from our spelling bee. But don't worry, coming soon. Let's see. Rosaline says, on the fritz. There's nothing I can do about it. Lots of love. I don't know what you mean. Your computer is on the fritz, or your phone, or give me some context, guys. Give me some context. There's Elena, and Elena taking part in our Back to Basics challenge in our pop quiz, sponsored by the lovely Tash Pasqua. And Elena says, let's take a look at the comment. Elena says, I'm glad she's down to earth. Does that sound right to you guys? Sounds right to me. I'm glad. You want me to tell you a secret here? A native secret? 9 times out of 10, we're going to say glad over happy. Oh, I'm glad you like it. Oh, I'm glad you came. Why? Happy is 2 syllables. That's too much. I'm joking. But seriously, a native speaker, if there's a more comfortable way to say it, they're usually going to say it that way. So I'm glad you made it. I'm glad we're back. You know how often we use this glad? Gladly. Si alguien te pide un favor, somebody asks you if you could do them a favor, and you say, gladly. Claro que sí, con mucho gusto. And I know everybody knows happy because I'm happy. Happy birthday to, I know everybody knows happy. And I know that you know Merry from Merry Christmas. But glad? That's the one. That is the chosen one. El elegido. So she says, I'm glad she's down to earth. That's right. It's a similar idea if you put the idea together in your head to be down to earth, right? Her head is not in the clouds, que decimos lo mismo, right? Her feet are on the ground. She's grounded. These are other ways to express the same idea. So me alegro que ella tenga los pies en la tierra. I'm glad she's down to earth. Excellent job to all of you. And you know what? We've got to go to our first commercial break. I can't believe it. What? What happened? Jeez Louise. All right, well, we'll be back shortly. It's another way of saying soon. We'll be back shortly with tons more Show with No Name, amigos. We've got a lot of stuff to cover, and I hope you'll join us in the second part. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the second part of today's Show with No Name. It's more than just a radio show. Remember, you can watch this show every day on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitter. I mean, hello? Now, if you can't watch the show, no problem. Listen. You can listen to it on the Von Radio app or download the podcast. Oh, yeah. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. So much participation. It's great to see you all here, ready to rock a pie del cañón. It's a good one in Spanish. I'm here at the foot of the cannon. Great one. All right. As Mariela says, I'm glad to see you. Absolutely. Me pregunta, ¿puedo decir I'm glad to see you? Absolutely. Sure. I'm glad you asked. Me alegro que hayas preguntado. I'm glad you asked. I'll gladly answer your question, Mariela. We play with words here on the Show with No Name. We have fun. Yeah, why not? I came here to have fun today. I hope you guys did. We're going to learn. We're going to have fun. And as always, I'm going to challenge you guys. I love to challenge you guys. Why? Who doesn't like a good challenge? So let's kick off with our first challenge of the second part of the show. Today's Say What? Say what? What? It's the Say What soundbite on the Show with No Name. It's completely insane. It's the name of the game. Your life will never be the same. I know this rhyme is kind of lame. Oh, it's not wild, it's tame. Ooh, I'm on a roll. It's taking its toll. Hey, it's difficult to freestyle even in your own language, but rhyming words is such a big part of really getting how words sound. Think of the words sheet and shit. Speaking of my new book, this book is the shit. What? Well, if you're one of those people who says the shit, you say it the same. Well, then what you need to do is find a list of words that rhyme with each one. So, shit, mierda, fit, caber, lit, encendido, bit, el pasado de morder, mordido, bit, right? Kit, right? I can't think of any more. A little bit. So if you can say it with that one word, you can say it with all of them. That's how we learned how to cluster words together. I remember in school, they're like, which word doesn't rhyme with this one? It's a really good way to make sure you're pronounced. You're like, esto es este sonido, aquí, aquí, aquí. And you look for common words. Bit, kit, shit, hit, fit, bit, lit. They all sound the same. And then the second one, you get the second one, sheet, okay, meat, treat, feet, seat. You get my point, right? And that's how you know that you know how to pronounce not just that word, but every time you see that sound, that vowel sound, ese sonido vocal, you got it under control. Oh yeah, amigos. All right, well, let's take a look at our Say What soundbite, or I should say, let's give it a listen. This is one of my favorite people to ever walk the planet. Whoa, this is a bold statement. Audaz, to say something, whoa, really? Te proclamas así? This is a very bold statement. Well, yes, it's true. This is probably one of my favorite people to walk the planet. I think this person was a genius. And I think this person is probably, as far as words and playing with words and seeing words as ideas and the power of words, this guy is an inspiration, at least to me. All right. And what you need to do, as always, is you need to write down exactly what you hear. You'll have 4 chances to do that. But initially, right now, I'll give it to you twice now. I want you to sum it up in a sentence or two. I want you to sum up what you heard in your best English. So we make it's really a dual exercise. Well, more than dual. Tiene más de dos. You're listening, you're writing, and you're summarizing. So there's a few different things that you're working on. And then if you say what you wrote aloud, then you're practicing your speaking. Again, that's in your hands. I can't help you practice your speaking. That's got to come out of you. You're the one who's got to say whatever you hear aloud. All right, amigos. So let's give it a listen. This is our Say What soundbite for the first time.
I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't.
All right, there you go. Now you can see, you're like, oh, okay, that sounds even like Alberto, my views. You know how I feel about politicians, like people who are career politicians. Yeah. You could say I'm getting into politics because I want to help people. Or you can say I'm getting into politics because let me see, where I can get some money, get a nice cushy job afterwards. So, there are 2 sides to every coin. So you can see where we have similar views, right? I got some of my views from this guy. And again, for me, this guy was an inspiration. Now, I just gave you some major information. This person no longer is. Ya no es. Era. But a true genius in my eyes and in many people's eyes. Okay. And a rebel genius. Not your typical genius who follows the rules and plays by the book. This is what we'd call a rebel. Un rebelde, and a genius, a wordsmith, uno que tiene el don de la palabra, que controla la palabra. All right, let's give it a second listen. Here we go. This is our Say What soundbite for the second time.
I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't.
All right, there you go, amigos. That was the second listen of today's Say What soundbite. Hopefully you guys will be able to figure that one out. Let's see what we've got. Some more comments coming in here in our chat room. Great to see you guys here participating in the different sections. Let's see. Kubla says, whatever happened to your right index finger. Oh, okay. Nosy Nelly. If you must know, si tienes que saberlo, I'll tell you. It's no big deal. There's no like great story. I was unloading my dishwasher this morning and I cut my finger. Whoa, exciting. So yeah, and I have a little I've got an octopus, I've got a turtle on my Band-Aid, mi tirita, if you must know. Yeah, battle scars, no? Battle wounds, de batalla. Mariela says, good morning, Alberto. Good morning to you. Mariela. There's Marta. Marta says, good morning, friends. It's been a while since I joined the show live last time. Much work, but I miss you a lot. Well, guess what, Marta? That makes two of us. Apúntate esta estructura. Ya somos dos. I haven't done the show in like 2 weeks. So you didn't miss live shows. So great to have you back, Marta, and I'm glad to hear that your workload has gone down. Your workload. Let's see. Kubla says, putting my life on the line. I'd say it's an American stand-up comedian discussing honor, business, and dignitaries. Great job. Yep. Nice. Elena says, it's probably a host of a show speaking on who's really the big fish in the pond. Good, Elena. The big fish in the pond. In other words, who calls the shot? Who calls the shots? Bueno. ¿Quién lleva la voz cantante? Elena, did you drink English juice this morning? Did you have extra tea? Who calls the shots when it comes to ruling the world? Lo único que te hago un ajuste ahí. When it comes to, aunque parezca que vaya un infinitivo, es ing. When it comes to ruling the world, Elena, spot on and very well expressed. Nice job, Kubla and Elena. Anybody else? Again, this is one of my favorite people to ever walk the planet. A true inspiration, if you ask me. All right, anybody want to participate? Going once? Going twice? If not, you know what time it is. I know Born to Iron Man is sitting on the edge of his seat. Está con ganazas. He's sitting on the edge of his seat. So let's get right into today's Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. That's right, amigos. It's our spelling bee, but as expected. Well, sometimes, hey, I don't want to rush you guys either. No os quiero meter prisa tampoco, but also I got to keep the show moving. So as long as you're close enough, of course, I'll read your comments, especially if you took the time to write them and participate in the section. But excuse the rush. The rush is because you know how we get to the end of the show. Like, okay, guys, thank you very much. I mean, so I, you know. I just like to move things along, but let's see a couple more comments here in our Say What soundbite. Lupe says, I think he's a native speaker. Oh, no doubt. A genius, knows how to use his words like nobody. And I think he's a native speaker who's giving his opinion about the great business owners and politicians. Yeah, the aristocrats, right? The aristocracy, the elite, if you will. He seems a little bit disappointed. Oh, yeah, that's an understatement. He was never a fan of these fat cats, como decimos. And he made it very clear in his discourse. Yeah, we say discurso también, pero más su discurso como su forma de decir las cosas, más que a speech. So we do use that word. Let's see. Chris says, I heard a man that could be American, absolutely American. He's talking about the real owners, people who run the show, and they're not politicians. Yeah, I think a lot of people see that. I'll give you a clue. This is from a long time ago. So let's put it this way. This person was a visionary. This person saw the way things were going. That's all I'll say. I don't want to give you too much information, but great, excellent job, Chris. There's Leo. What's up, buddy? Leo says he is a comedian. Te falta el artículo. He's a comedian telling his audience not to believe that politicians are the owners. They only make us believe that we have the freedom to decide. The big businessmen are the ones with the real power. Excellent. All of you, really. You're not rusty. It's great to see that you aren't rusty. That's wonderful news. And let's see how you do in our most challenging section, our spelling bee. As always, I'm going to spell 6 different things right now, and I want you to tell me what they are. I'll give it to you twice. The first round is going to be relentless, okay? Despiadado, que no te voy a dar tregua, right? Relentless. And the second round, I'll be nice. I'll read it at a normal pace. Are you ready? This is round 1. The first word is ST period space MARK apostrophe S space SQ period. The second one is RIALTO space BRIDGE. The third one is DOGE apostrophe S space PALACE. The fourth one is BRIDGE space SIGHS. The fifth one is LA space FENICE. And the last one is GRAND space CANAL. All right, there you go, my amigos. And in the meantime, while you guys are thinking it over, I'm going to give you the teaser for the new episode of FYI for your English. You got a brand new episode today, and it's on diamonds. These precious stones are made possible when intense pressure is applied to carbon. The resulting shiny, sought-after gems are both hard and hard to come by. These mined minerals are used in ceremonies, symbolism, and studied in science. To some, they are timeless treasures. As the song goes, diamonds are forever. We'll delve into the deceptive world of diamonds on this week's episode of FYI. Welcome to For Your Info.
Inglés.
You got it. That's right, folks. For Your English. It is my weekly podcast. It's self-produced, and wow, I can't believe we've got over 200 episodes available. This week, we're taking a look at diamonds. Last week, we took a look at death, and I got a lot of really good feedback on that episode. So thank you to all of you who comment, who rate. Remember, that's a tremendous way that you can show your appreciation. A tremendous way is by just rating the shows, leaving a comment on Spotify, on wherever you can. I know some of the different platforms you can't, but you can definitely do it. I know on Apple Podcasts, you can leave a comment and then leave 5 stars. And if you do it or have done it, send me a screenshot, un pantallazo. You can send it to me on social media. Send me a screenshot, and I'll send you something special. I'll send you maybe a bonus episode or some PDFs if you would like. All right, just a way to say thank you. All right. Did anybody get these words on the first go? Kubla says what they have in common, but that's okay. That's we like that part after we have the main part. So we're looking for what they are first, unless you've been censored. Again, are we starting off with censorship already? Really? Oh my goodness. Oh no. All right. Well, either way, I'm going to give you another 10 seconds, and then we're going to go through this list again. Going once, going twice, going 3 times. I'm not going to count to 10. Ready? This is round 2. The first one is ST period space MARK apostrophe S space SQ period. The second one is RIALTO space BRIDGE. The third one, DOGE apostrophe S space PALACE. The fourth one is BRIDGE space SIGHS. The fifth one, LA space FENICE. The sixth one is GRAND space CANAL. All right, there you go, my amigos. That was your second round. I think that's pretty fair, bastante justo ahí. But let's see if anybody was able to figure these out. Anyone? Anyone? Well, these are all places in Venice. That's right. And why did we choose Venice? Well, why not? Venice is just, what a unique place. It's one of a kind. Único, it's another way of saying unique. It's one of a kind. There aren't many cities like this romantic gem, Venice. Oh man, beautiful. Depending on when you go, there might be a stench. A stench? Well, a stink. A foul smell. But I still think it's worth it, especially because the city is sinking, right? Oh, yeah. There are many interesting documentaries that talk about this, that show how they're trying to save the city, because the city is like there are no roads in this city as we know them, right? There are no roads. There are canals. And be careful with the pronunciation there. It's not canals, because you say canales. We say canals. Canals. I've been there twice. Yeah, twice. Yeah. I was in Venice twice, and what a great city. Now, why did I choose it today? Well, A, because I love the city, and I feel like it's a city everybody should visit, because there are a lot of beautiful cities. There are a lot of historic cities. There are you got all kinds, cities on the sea, but cities that are just canals, there aren't too many that have that. And then when you see, the antiquity, these old palaces, and it's just so unique. I guess the same reason people love New York. They're like, yeah, there are a lot of big cities, but New York is New York. It's got its own signature. And I think that's what we could say about Venice. And the reason I chose this was because today, in the year 1797, in history, the year 1797, the War of the First Coalition. Now, I'm no history buff. I know if you say it to Richard Vaughn, he'll be like, oh, yeah, which one? The first or the second one? Him or Guy Williams. They really know their stuff. Or, ¿sabes cómo lo diría realmente? They really know their shit. Why? Because that's how many people say it. And you'll see that in my book, in my upcoming book. There's a chapter on piss. There's another one on shit, and there's another one on F-U-C-K. And what we show you in this book is all the other uses, because everybody knows piss, mear. Okay, pero la mayoría de las veces que lo usas no es mear. The same thing with poop or shit. Okay, nice, pero you're the shit. Eso no tiene nada que ver con cagar. So it's a way to show you guys how to familiarize yourself with these many, many incarnations of these words that barely ever mean what they really mean. So that's going to be an interesting part. I think you guys will like it. And then what we do too, like for example, if I in the piss chapter, there's one where we say piss off, piss off. Now that's not nice to say, piss off. It's nicer than saying F-U-C-K off, but piss off. But people say it. So you should be aware of it. I'm not saying you should use this. Remember this. I don't think vulgarity is something that should be promoted. I do believe you should understand. I mean, it's just like, don't pretend something doesn't exist. I'm afraid of death, so I'll just pretend that death doesn't exist. It doesn't work like that, right? So these words, we need to familiarize ourselves and know how to use them. I'm not saying you need to use them, but at least to understand them. So I think you guys will like it. And then what we do is we find a more polite way to do it. Pero honestamente, is there a polite way to mandar a alguien a tomar viento? I mean, even if you say fuck off, obviously it's a bad word. If you say piss off, it's still bad, but it's lighter. If you say buzz off, it's the lightest way to say it, but you're still telling someone the intention behind it is que te den, vete a tomar viento. So, is it really polite? So I think you guys will enjoy that because it gives you some insight into how natives really speak. Folks, we've got to go to a quick commercial break. I can't believe it. We are halfway through today's show. We've got so much to cover, so stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. Woo! Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the second half of today's show. So much to do in this part. We're going to look at homophones. Got our Say What soundbite. Movies. Double Trouble. And so much more. So everybody hop on board for the second half. Welcome back, friends. Welcome back. Remember, right after this show, you've got a treat for your ears and all your senses with Ximena Holiday and her program, Test Your English. Then you got Rob and Andy and the Lunchtime Show. I got to say something. They're hysterical. When I was in the studio this week, they were jumping on the chairs and the table. Oh, my God. It's a zoo. But that's how you're going to learn that natural English. Hearing two besties, two best buds, shooting the breeze or shooting the shit. Mira, otro uso de shit. Estando de palique. All right, amigos. Oh, and then right after Rob and Andy, don't forget, you've got Tosh Pasqua and Back to Basics. So what a great morning, really. I mean, I know it because I know all the Vaughn teachers, and really some of the greatest teachers, and it's all free here. All you have to do is download the Vaughn Radio app, and also, if you love what we do here, spread the word, because as you know, that's the way that magic happens. All right, well, let's rock and roll into today's homophones.
Homophones, homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Show it homophones. Show it no. Show it no.
That's right, folks. That's right. It's our homophones only on the show with no name. And let's check out our 2 words for today. Let's see if A, you're familiar with the words, and B, if you know if they sound exactly the same or not. The first word is manto. Túnica, toga, okay? Okay, so another word for it in English is a cloak, okay? Manto, it says. Túnica, toga, okay? What else? Manto de la tierra, claro, right? Una capa, right? So the earth is made up of 4 layers, 4 capas. Te lo estoy leyendo aquí del ejemplo. The inner core, the outer core, el manto, and the crust. Okay, so that's the first word over there. Okay, the second word I want you to give me, okay, is another word that starts with M, and this one is marco de la chimenea. So it is not the fireplace, because the fireplace is the whole thing, where you put the logs, you know, but it's the part, you know, that frame, if you will. Okay, it's the frame of the fireplace, and where you hang the stockings. We don't call them los calcetines. Esos no son socks. Los de Christmas son stockings. All right, so those are your 2 words. We'll see if you're familiar with these words or not. Let's go on over here and see if anybody figured out today's homophones. Let's see. All right, we've got Kubla. Kubla, it looks like you nailed today's Say What soundbite. Man, that was 2 listens. You are ready to rock. Nice job. Nice job. Excellent. All right, and what I'm seeing is the spelling bee. We've been censored. Really? Like, I see a lot of you taking a stab at it. So wait a second. We're not allowed to talk about Venice? Well, I know you guys. I trust you. I believe in you guys. So, but I don't get it. I don't get censorship, period. La censura no lo entiendo en general, right? Just because you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean you want to shut them up. In fact, if you're trying to shut somebody up, it looks like, you don't want to hear other opinions. And that's not a good thing in general, right? In the end, you have to agree to disagree, right? You're not going to agree with everybody. And if you think you're going to agree with everybody in life, so that's why we have an expression in English. We'll agree to disagree. Estamos de acuerdo de no estar de acuerdo. So there we go, folks. But excellent job. Let me give you the spelling bee words. The words were all places in Venice, and it was because today Napoleon Bonaparte conquered Venice in what was the War of the First Coalition. And the first one is St. Mark's Square. I think it's probably like the quintessential. When you think of Venice, you think of St. Mark's Square. I mean, how many pictures have we seen of it flooded? It's absolutely beautiful. Now, don't order a coffee or a beer there. It's astronomical. Like, Venice is expensive because it's a touristy place. But if you go, I mean, that's like having a beer in the Plaza Mayor. Okay, it's a beautiful view, but you want to pay €8 for a tubo de, I mean, I don't know. Hey, some people can afford that. To some people, I personally can't. So St. Mark's Square, but you can always find a nice little cafe or a bar just off the square, right? That's the key. What we say in English is off the beaten path, el camino menos recorrido. And speaking of the beaten path, everybody, this is a must. You can't go to Venice. You can't go there and say that you've been to Venice without crossing the Rialto Bridge and taking a picture from the Rialto Bridge. So this would be the opposite of off the beaten path. Okay, Rialto Bridge was our second word. And if you noticed, I abbreviated St. Mark's Square. In English, we can abbreviate square, plaza, with SQ, period, right? So that's what I did there to not make it as long. The next one is Doge's Palace. And this is a museum. Obviously, it used to be a palace. And it's right off of St. Mark's Square. €25 to get in. It's pretty expensive. New York museums are a lot cheaper than that, if I'm not mistaken, unless prices have gone up tremendously. But again, if you're looking for a cheap vacation, a vacation on a shoestring budget, como decimos, a shoestring budget is poca pasta, poco presupuesto. Venice is not the place. But if you're looking for a one-of-a-kind place that just, there's no place like it on earth, then you got to go there. And you know what? I've been there twice and I haven't taken a gondola ride. Well, I never went with my wife. See? I went with friends once. There was no romance involved. And the second time I went with friends as well. So it was like I've never gone there on a romantic trip, although I could see that it was a romantic city. But let's be honest, Italy in general is just full of romantic places, beautiful views. And what is romantic in the end? It's a nice view, a little candle, a good meal, the right company, some wine. You know what I mean? What do you need? What else do you need? A little music always does the trick. So the next one is the Bridge of Sighs. And this is a bridge that's in a little narrow canal. I remember this one. The Bridge of Sighs. And sighs, what are sighs? Sighs are suspiros, sighs, que suena igual que tamaño. Tell me the size of your sighs. Dime el tamaño de tus suspiros. Hey, I never thought of that one. I never realized they were homophones. So the Bridge of Sighs. The next one is Le Fenice. Le Fenice, which is a theater, Teatro La Fenice, which is, I mean, even if you don't see a show there, if you just look at the inside of this theater, it is a work of art. And that's the thing, like Venice itself is a work of art. And then no trip to Venice would be complete without a trip down the Grand Canal. Again, if you don't want to take a gondola, because they aren't cheap, you can always get a water taxi. We were really lucky. I remember the first time I went there, a friend of ours spoke Italian very well. So she saw a guy, an older man, un señor mayor, and he was getting into his boat, right? And he was, I don't know what he was doing, but he was fixing the motor or something like that. And she said, hey, and I don't know, they started talking. And he goes, you guys, well, if you're going, I think she asked him, where's this restaurant? Because we got a recommendation. And the guy said, oh, tutti frutti di mare, felice fratelli, ragazzo. And we were in the boat for free, being taken across Venice with Il Capitane. I started calling him Il Capitane. And that was awesome. It was just an amazing moment there, because I was like, wow, we're not doing the touristy thing. We're getting a ride from a native. There's another city that's like that, but it's still unique. It's different. And that's Amsterdam, because even the architecture is different. I'll never forget when I got to Amsterdam with my wife, one of the times I went there, and my friend picked me up at the Grand Central Station there, the main station, in his boat. And it was amazing because he was like, hey, over here, man, over here. And I'm like, hey, Mike, how's it going? And he was like, hey, give me those suitcases. He took the suitcases, he put them in a compartment that he had in the boat, and he went, ksh, ksh. He cracked open 2 beers, and the rest was history. Yeah. So, yeah, there's something about going to a city and seeing the city and walking around and seeing the sights. And then there's something to be said about going around a city on a boat. It's just a totally different feeling. I did it in Chicago. Any city where you can get on a boat, do it. Like I did a Chicago with my wife, a Chicago river architecture tour. So they literally took you on a boat. They have beer, chips, whatever you want. And you're just there and somebody's telling you, making jokes. Usually they're actors that they hire. It's a good job for actors because they're entertaining people. And then they're still flexible enough where they can trade a shift. So they're usually really entertaining. And there's nothing like seeing a city from the water. I say it in New York. Everybody who goes to New York says, wow, what an amazing view. This is crazy. But you're in the center of it. The moment you cross the bridge or you see it from the water, it's even more mind-blowing. So if you went to Manhattan at some point and you haven't crossed into New Jersey or into Brooklyn or Queens, you're missing one of the greatest views of Manhattan. Or you haven't taken a boat ride, you're missing it. Because, yeah, Manhattan's beautiful from the inside. But when you see it with a little distance and you see the whole skyline, oh, man. Anybody feel like traveling? Does anybody have itchy feet right now? No, itchy feet is not athlete's foot. No, to have itchy feet means tienes ganas de viajar, de moverte. I have itchy feet. Piénsalo, me pican los pies, tengo que moverme. All right. I know many of you have itchy feet to participate in this next section, our homophone section, because you weren't allowed. You were censored. You weren't allowed to participate in our spelling bee. So let's see who we've got here. We've got Kubla. Kubla, those are the correct words. And Kubla says that they're homophones. All right. Let's see. Grace, those are the correct words. And she says they could be homophones. Interesting. So Kubla's pretty sure. And Grace is like, I don't know. I'm not gonna say 100%. Well, that's good. It's good to know. You're being honest. You're saying, I think so, but I'm not 100% sure. That's fine. You don't have to be 100% sure of anything in life, right? So the first word is mantle, mantle. Es que es como manta, si lo piensas. And that word, the mantle, this is very interesting because you know where I learned this word in Spanish? Think about it. What episode just came out today? What episode of FYI just came out today? One on diamonds, right? Que no es diamonds, it's diamonds. Shine bright like a diamond, shine bright like a diamond. All right, well, I learned the word there because diamonds are found in the mantle of the... And I said, y tuvo que, as you know, they come with PDF. the podcast, you can get it with PDF documents. So I always have to look up all the vocabulary I don't know in Spanish. And this is helping me tremendously, you know? And I looked it up and I was like, okay, mantle kind of makes sense. All right, good. Mantle, say it with me. The mantle. All right. And the second word is what we do here is we flip it. So we flip the LE and we make it EL. And is it pronounced the same? Please hang the stockings from the mantle. Mantle. Do they sound the same? Absolutely. Nice job, Kubla and Chris. Fantastic job, my amigos. And since you did such a great job, I think I'm going to take you to a special place, and it's my treat. Invito yo. We are going to the movies. Name that movie. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie, only on the Show with No Name. And as always, this is a part where we get some dialogue from a movie. We read the summary and we learn a little bit about how we speak. And again, it's a good way to learn, because how do you think native speakers learn? Yeah, exactly. We learn the same way as you guys. Yeah, your mom and dad. Yeah, school. And yeah, TV as well. All right, I'll give you a little clue here. All right. In World War I, East Africa, a gin-swilling Canadian riverboat captain is persuaded by a straight-laced English missionary to undertake a trip up a treacherous river and use his boat to attack a German gunship. Whoa, a lot going on there. Interesting vocabulary, too. And we'll take a look at it in a moment. So, in World War I, you can say the First World War, creo que sale más fácil que World War I. The First World War, or World War I, in East Africa, a gin swilling. To swill is to guzzle, glug, 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 glug. So, un bebedor de mucho ginebra, and he's a Canadian riverboat captain, o sea, comandante o capitán de un barco, pero un barco en un río, right? And he's persuaded, le convence, by a straight-laced. Now, what is straight-laced? Pues esto, I don't know how you would say it, but it's somebody like que se porta muy bien, conservadora, tradicional, right? Proper, straight-laced, right? Vigilla un poco, right? Como que nunca sale de su línea ahí. Persuaded by a straight-laced English missionary to undertake, and undertake is emprender, a trip up a treacherous river. And treacherous is a synonym for dangerous. De hecho, piénsalo. Traidor, traicionero. No, you know what I mean? Es peligroso. You don't know what's going to happen. Treacherous. I love that word. Y nunca me he dado cuenta. Traicionera. Yeah. Treacherous. Kind of same idea behind it. So to undertake a trip up a treacherous river and use his boat to attack a German gunship. So, of course, we have to have our war propaganda in there. What would it be without some war, right? Oh, all right. I was just kidding. Oh, somebody call a doctor, please. Oh, all right. Let's see if we've got any winners over here. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Kubla and Chris Valrol. Kubla and Chris, excellent job. The movie is The African Queen. What an amazing movie. Humphrey Bogart and the one and only Katharine Hepburn. The movie came out in 1951, and I'll never forget the first time I saw this movie. I close my eyes right now and I'm at my grandmother's and I'm in her living room with her fuzzy carpet over there. And she said, we're going to watch this movie. I think we rented it at the library for free in the library. And it was VHS. And she said, you're going to love this. It's a classic. And we loved it. It's an amazing movie. And let's take a look at the scene that I've chosen here for you. Charlie says, fine specimen of a man, ain't I? Que vaya, mira este espécimen de hombre que soy. Mira cacho de hombre would be a good translation. Fine specimen of a man, ain't I? Ain't I? Sería aren't I? And then Rose says, you are, I'm going to do it in my British accent because she's British. You're the bravest man that has ever lived. You just overdo. That's all. Dice, sí, eres muy, I always forget this word, courageous, valiente. So she says, yes, you're the bravest man that ever lived. You just overdo. That's all. Te pasas. You overdo. To overdo something is pasarte. And she says, what you need is a few hours sleep. Necesitas unas horitas de sueño, de dormir. You need a few hours sleep. There. Now you're all comfortable. Notice, not comfortable, comfortable. You're all comfortable. Go to sleep, dear. Vete a dormir, cariño. When you wake up, we'll be on our way again. Cuando te despiertes, estaremos de camino de nuevo. And Charlie says, Rosie? And she says, yes, darling. You want to know the truth, don't you? Quieres saber la verdad, no? Even if we had all our strength, si tuviéramos todas nuestras fuerzas, let's pronounce that word, strength. Even if we had all our strength, we'd never get her out of this mud. Nunca le vamos a sacar de este barro. And why does he say her if he's talking about his boat? Well, again, aren't sailors, marineros, romantic kind of characters? La mar, el mar, right? They name their boats after their daughter, their love. Well, same idea. So a captain, you'll often hear a captain talk about his ship as if it were a human, he or she, right? But it's only because to them, you need to know. If you're the captain, you need to know the personality of your ship. You need to know your ship inside and out. And he says, we're finished. Se nos acaba aquí el chollo. We're dead. And Rose says, I know it. I know it. And Charlie says, but Rosie, I'm not one bit sorry I came. Pero no me arrepiento ni un poco de que vine. But I'm not one bit sorry I came. What I mean is, it was worth it. Lo que quiero decir es que valió la pena. Now, that's his character, Charlie speaking. Humphrey Bogart hated Africa. He detested it. He loathed filming in Africa. He found the experience to be miserable, right? And Katharine Hepburn, quite the contrary. She said it was utterly divine, totalmente divino. So that's interesting how two people can be in the same place and one can have the time of your life and the other one can just be miserable. And he complained, obviously. He was griping. Gripe in English, gripe es quejarse. He was griping and whining about everything from the humidity, the heat, the dangers of being in Africa, the food as well. And Kate, as they called her on the set, she was having a blast, a great time. And I guess you can tell her performance is, I mean, he's great. He's Humphrey Bogart. But if I had to choose who gave a better performance in this movie, I know who it was. It was definitely Katharine Hepburn. And also Lauren Bacall was there, famous actress Lauren Bacall. But I know what you're thinking, movie buffs. Lauren Bacall. But she wasn't in this movie. Yeah, but she was married to Humphrey Bogart. So she came along, and that's why her and Katharine Hepburn, from that experience, they bonded, and they have, and until they passed, a lifelong friendship. So listen, it just shows you how in life everybody can see what they want. Humphrey Bogart wishes he could erase the experience. And Katharine Hepburn said, this is one of the most amazing experiences ever, one of the greatest movies ever, and she made one of the best friends that she ever had. See, it's all about perspective. Folks, we'll be right back with the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. So, stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the fourth and final part of today's show with no name. Up next, you got Ximena Holiday with Test Your English. And don't forget about our afternoon programming. You've got Jules Linares with Let's Get Random to kick off the afternoon. After that, you've got Guy Williams in Western Civilization, followed by The Salad, Dave Boy's Masterpiece. And don't forget about Drive Time for your commute home with my good friend Kyle Miller. And all of us will be at the book fair. So make sure you get to the book fair this year. We are so excited, all of us, even my friends who don't have a new book coming out. But I'm extra excited. And since many of you have confirmed you're going to be there, Chris Balrol, Leo, Joaquin, you know who you are. You guys never miss a book fair. But this one's going to be extra special. Oh, yeah. Oh man. Got a new baby. All right, amigos. I'll be there with Damian Moya Saturday, May 27th. Saturday, June 3rd. Sunday, June 11th. And all of those are from 11 to 2. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Vaughan Stand. Stand 312. 312. I hope you guys will join us for the fun at Feria del Libro, Madrid. Okay, sorry. I was just imitating the madrileños with that. I don't say that. Madrid. I'm like, ¿dónde está la zeta? I'm not seeing it. Well, folks, we've got to get moving, so let's rock and roll with today's Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double.
What?
Double trouble.
What?
I said double. Double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. It's Double Trouble only on the show with no name. And you know what? You're welcome. What? But I didn't even do anything yet. Well, you're welcome. You're welcome. You know why? This one's going to be easy. Now, When I make it easy like that, what do I expect? I don't expect just one or two people to participate. If I tell you it's easy, it means I want everybody to take a stab at it. Even if you consider yourself a beginner, I think this one is doable. Are you guys ready for today's double trouble? Remember, you have to use the same word twice. Here we go. Molas, pero no causes problemas. Molas, tú molas, pero no causes problemas. Molas, ¿no? Tú you say that in Spain, ¿no? Eres la leche, molas. Eres la bomba, molas, molas mucho, pero no causes problemas. All right, there's your double trouble. Also, I've got to give you the Say What soundbite. This is the third. Listen, no, is this the third? This is the fourth. Oh, my goodness, folks. This is the last listen of today's Say What soundbite.
I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't.
All right, folks, my hero, a role model, somebody who even to this day makes me always think about words and, just play with them and understand their power. The power of saying, well, no, this is now that. If it's like if I take a pen, I'm like, this is now called a wachu. No, it's a pen. Well, no, we want to call it a wachu. So, yeah, but then you're changing the words, changing definitions of things. So he was really, really good at showing how the language can be manipulated and how it can be played with and even used to your advantage, right? I think that's what he's talking about there when he talks about politicians and things like that. As many of you, the good news is many of you heard him loud and clear. So everybody who gave me a summary, you nailed it. You're spot on. You understood him perfectly. Kubla, I believe, Kubla, you got all of it down. If you guys still want to participate, that was your last chance. All right. Anybody figure out today's double trouble? Let's go over here to our chat room. Let's see. Kubla. Okay, Kubla says, you rock, but don't rock the boat. Kubla, you nailed it, dude. You rock, but don't rock the boat. And I imagine when they talk about rocking a boat, they're talking about a rowboat. A rowboat, uno que tiene remos, right? Because if you think about a big cruise ship, it's hard to rock those. To rock, mecer, right? Rock es también molar. And how do we call a mecedora? A rocking chair. Wait a second. So, according to that, that's a rocking chair could mean eso es una silla molona o eso es una mecedora. That's right. And what if I say that's a rockin' chair? Esa es una mecedora molona. Hey, I remember when I was in the South of the United States, they take their rocking chair seriously, right? And when you're a kid, you have a rocking horse, right? So don't rock the boat. Piénsalo. What are they trying to say there with don't rock the boat? They're trying to say, ahora todo está calmado. Again, if you visualize the idiomatic expressions and you find a way to make them make sense, and in many cases they do, well, then it makes your life easier, right? So, molas, you rock, but don't rock the boat. And another way to say that as well is don't make waves, right? Don't rock the boat. Don't make waves. Same idea, right? No causes problemas. Any Bob Marley fans in the house? Don't rock my boat, 'cause I don't want my boat to be rocked. Rock my boat, rock my boat. So that's a good way to remember it. Bob Marley rocks. Mola Bob Marley. Especially that song, Don't Rock My Boat. No creas problemas para mí. Don't rock my boat. You can also say don't rock the boat if you don't personalize it, or don't make waves. So excellent expressions. I love it when expressions make sense. It makes my job easier as a teacher. All right, well, folks, it's time to play with words a little more in today's You're Joking. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking. That's right, amigos. That's right. You're joking on the show with no name. And let's see if you get these jokes. If you get them, awesome. If not, don't worry. I'll explain them to you in just a moment. I've got a couple jokes up my sleeve, in la manga. So let's see. This is our first one. What kind of sale was happening at the boat store? Okay. So sometimes they sell boats in a showroom. Sometimes they sell them on the dock where my dad lives. They have repairs. They sell boats. So what kind of sale, oferta o venta, what kind of sale was happening at the boat store? Easy. A 2-for-1 sale. A 2-for-1 sale? Sale? No? A 2-for-1 sale? Sale? La vela? Navegar? So 2-por-1 en velas, pero 2-por-1, a 2-for-1 sale, una oferta 2-por. I think that's a funny one. Seriously, it's a really good one. Oh man, unbelievable. All right, so what kind of sale was happening at the boat store? A 2-for-1 sale. A 2-for-1 sale. All right, let's see if you get this next one I've got for you. That was an easy one. Sale, venta, oferta, sale, zarpar, sale, la vela. Okay, what causes some boats to become party boats? What causes some boats to become party boats? Easy. Peer pressure. No. Peer pressure? Hey, if you don't know this vocabulary, you haven't listened to the FYI episode on sailing. There's an episode I did with Brendan Ryan, excellent teacher on Twitter. You can follow him and you can check out that podcast. He's a sailor. He comes from a family of sailors. So I had him on board to talk about sailing. And well, as you can see in the episode, as you can hear in the episode, there are so many parallels with life and sailing, la navegación. I mean, think about it. Think about it. All right. So peer pressure. All right. A pier is another way of saying a dock. Remember, I just told you they sell boats on the dock or on the pier. Okay, great. Pier. P-I-E-R. Pier. Peer pressure. Presión del muelle. But that doesn't make any sense. El muelle, that, bueno, si el agua, si el nivel de agua, right? The water level goes up, maybe. But also peer pressure is something we talk about with children, with young people who are easily influenced. They're impressionable. And peer pressure is this. Hey, Alberto, you want a cigarette? No, my parents told me not to smoke. They said it's not good for you. And I said, come on, man. What are you kidding? Everybody's smoking. You want to be in the club? We're all smoking, dude. So it's putting unnecessary pressure on young people, on your peers, tus iguales, to partake in questionable behavior. Let's put it that way. So peer pressure. And they always say, don't succumb to peer pressure. No te dejes que te afecte. No. To succumb to something. Peer pressure. You get it now? Okay. Oh, and that second peer is P-E-E-R. So the first one is P-I-E-R. The second one is P-E-E-R. And anybody who works in IT, I'm sure you're familiar with peer-to-peer. Es una forma de comunicar, yo creo, entre ordenadores. I could be wrong there, but I know it's a word that's used in the technical realm as well, in el mundo técnico. And you say informática. Remember, we don't say informatics, we say IT. All right, one more. Third time's a charm. A la tercera va la vencida. Why couldn't the sailors play cards? Why couldn't the sailors play cards? ¿Por qué no podían jugar a las cartas los marineros? Easy to understand, right? Easy. Because the captain was standing on the deck. It's a really good one. No? The captain was standing on the deck? Or the captain, we already know that word because we were talking about the African queen before. But the captain, and I was telling you also about the captain who took us around the canals of Venice, and my friend Mike, who's the captain of his boat. But the captain was standing on the deck. What you need to know is that the deck is la cubierta. See, I learned that word as well. The deck, la cubierta. That's the top part of the ship, where all the action is, really, the deck. De hecho, cuando quieren que todos a participar, todos manos a la obra, we say all hands on deck. Aunque no somos piratas, all hands on deck. Necesito todos a ayudar, todos a la cubierta, deck, okay? And also a deck in the United States, and also in England, if you notice, a lot of houses have a deck, una extensión de madera, como un patio. That's called a deck as well. So if you think about it, it's kind of the same idea. The deck, la cubierta, it's made of wood, like the deck of a ship, but also a deck of cards, una baraja. So why couldn't the sailors play cards? Because the captain was standing on the deck. Porque estaba el capitán encima de la cubierta o encima de la baraja. I hope you enjoyed those jokes. They're nothing worth celebrating, but it is time to celebrate in today's famous birthday trivia.
Birthdays for you. Famous birthdays. Birthdays for me. Famous birthdays. Birthdays for everyone on the show with no name. Oi, oi, oi. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It is famous birthdays only on the show with no name. Let's see who's celebrating a birthday on this lovely day before the summer. The summer is right around the corner. And as I always tell you guys, the summer's a time to relax a little bit, take it a little bit easier, but that's also a perfect time for you guys to work on your English. When you have less stuff to do at work, when you have fewer, commitments, well, that's when you're by the pool, that's the best time to listen to a podcast and learn some English as you're getting some sun. You know what I mean? So make the most of this summer and you'll have a new material. You'll have This Book is the Shit before you know it. En un blis blas. Let's see who's celebrating a birthday today. The first person was born in 1948. And I remember this guy being really, really popular in the 80s. But really, he was popular before the 80s in 3 different bands. And I wasn't even familiar with these. The Spencer Davis Group, Traffic, excellent, and Blind Faith. So I didn't know that. When I discovered this guy, he was working as a solo artist, but I didn't know. I mean, you can tell the guy's talented. He's a multi-instrumentalist, singer, songwriter. So the guy's a musical genius. But I didn't know. I mean, I know the group Traffic. I hadn't heard of the other ones. But some of the songs you'll know is While You See a Chance. Also, Valerie. What a beautiful song. Back in the High Life Again. The Finer Things, which is a great one as well. Las cosas más finas de la vida. And I think his number one, the hit that everybody knew him for, at least in the 80s, Bring Me a Higher Love. Oh, bring me a higher love. Tráeme un amor más alto, con más profundidad, con más chicha. Bring me a higher love. De otro nivel, right? Excellent song. Now it's going to be stuck in my head all day. Number 2, this person was born in 1907, an American actress who passed in 2003. But her career as a leading lady in Hollywood lasted over 6 decades, and she has won it all. I'll always remember her from The African Queen, but she was in so many movies, I couldn't even begin to list them here. And she's won every award, respected and loved by all. And I think if you think of the pantheon of Hollywood actors, she has her spot in the pantheon. And last but not least, this guy, I think, aside from being in the pantheon of stand-up comics, I think he should also be in the pantheon of social commentary, social critics, criticisms. People, nowadays you see it. It's very normal. You'll see comedians and you're like, well, this comedian has a political, they're not just making jokes like, I farted, or my brother-in-law, mi cuñado, but these are jokes that are like sad observations. And oh man, there's none better than this guy. And he always took a look at the English language. He's got a very famous sketch called The 7 Dirty Words. And he's a classic. If you can, watch all his stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, a nice round of applause for Kubla and Chris. Number 1 is Steve Winwood. Number 2, Katharine Hepburn. And number 3, George Carlin. Oh, and by the way, tomorrow you'll get the bonus episode of comedy. It wasn't released before to the general public. It'll drop tomorrow. So you're getting 2 episodes of FYI this week. You've got today, Diamonds, and then tomorrow, part 2 of the comedy episode. And I put it out on purpose. It's with Dan Feist. I think you guys are going to love it. I give you recommendations in it. As always, listen to the first one. So there's always 2 parts to every FYI. Even if you've listened to it, listen to it again, because I connect them in some way, right? A lot of times I share things like, remember how we said in the first one? So just to get the whole experience and to really immerse yourself in the topic, I recommend you always listen to the first one as well when a bonus one comes out. So stay tuned. Tomorrow, you'll have a brand spanking new episode of FYI. You've got one today as well. So double trouble over there. Speaking of double trouble. All right. Well, this is George Carlin. And this was him making an observation, which I think has never been truer. Nunca ha sido más veraz que hoy. Veraz, I think you say. He says, I'm talking about the real owners now. Estoy hablando de los dueños de verdad. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have the freedom of choice. You don't. And I think more and more we've seen that, especially in certain countries, I don't want to mention countries, but certain countries where I've spent a lot of time in my life, you can see that you don't have to be very smart or even awake to be the president. So that makes you think, well, then who's behind the scenes? Because this person's incapable of putting on their underwear. And the last thing I want to do is criticize an old man. You know what I mean? I think you get what I'm saying. We got 300 million people in my country, and we've got this guy. And this is not a Democrat Republican thing. This is a joke. So I usually don't share my political opinion. I'll shut up now. Well, it's true. It's true. Anybody who thinks that that guy is doing anything, even putting on his own pants, man, you're very positive. All right, let's hear my role model, George Carlin.
I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't.
All right, folks, and now it's time for Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is... No? Sorry, bye.
with no name. The show with no name. It's name and lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name. And thank you to all of you. Those of you who participate live, those of you who listen to the podcast, those of you who watch it, however you listen to, watch, however you consume the show with no name. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. We've got amazing programs coming up with some of the greatest English teachers in the world. I know it because I've met so many English teachers in my 20 plus years in this field. And you've got the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme. And don't forget, we're all going to be at the book fair with bells on. Con muchísimas ganas. All right, let's take a look at the song here. The song says, think about it. Piénsalo, right? Piénsalo. There must be, this is a good structure. Debería haber. There must be a higher love. You know it already. I just said the title. It's Steve Winwood, Higher Love. So Google it, so this way you can sing along with me. Think about it. There must be higher love down in the heart, en la profundidad del corazón, or hidden in the stars above, ocultos en las estrellas arriba. Without it, sin ello, life is wasted time. It's pretty deep. Look inside your heart. I'll look inside mine. Mira dentro de tu corazón, dentro de tu ser, y yo miraré en el mío. Things look so bad everywhere. Las cosas pintan mal en todas partes. Is this whole world? What is fair? In this whole world, what is fair? ¿Qué es lo que hay? Es justo. And then the chorus, which is awesome. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. All right. Thank you so much, folks. An absolute pleasure. As always, I missed you guys. It's great to be back. And we'll be back with more in our next show. As always, have a wonderful rest of the day. And ciao for now. Let's go.